I don't even know if this is necessary, but we're going to take apart this pump. So this one is off my tractor. It hardly turns. It's pretty tore up. Definitely has some bad bearings. This one is off the parts tractor. It spins fairly smooth. I can tell that the seal is making good contact by the even resistance I get. And it was full of nice, clean, green coolant. I might try to save a little bit and reuse it. I don't know, but I'm gonna take apart this one. We'll see how easy it comes apart and if it's destructive or not. They're designed to pull the impeller off and take the shaft and bearing and seal assembly out with a snap ring here. But if it comes apart easy and it doesn't destroy it, I might go ahead and take apart this one and see what it looks like and decide then whether it's worth reusing it or not. Alright, first up, we'll pull this cover off the back. These three holes are where the bolts that hold down the water pump hold it to the block, and I got to remove these two. Alright, pretty crusty in here. So the impeller is supposed to come off of this shaft. These holes are supposed to be threaded, where you put a puller in there. So I'm going to see if I can put together some form of a puller to get those out. It looks like I might have to run a tap through those holes and clean them up. I'll go ahead and open up this one real quick just to see if I could tell what thread that's supposed to be. This one had coolant in it, so it's probably in better shape. Yeah, I can see the threads. Of course. Alright. Alright, so I had this plate. I don't know what I used it for before, but it had a notch on one side, sort of. I made the hole in the center bigger and spread it out and broke the bit in the process, so just used a file to get it close. So we'll see if this works anyway. It's a little tougher to do here without getting the vise, but here's our impeller. Doesn't look like much, but it works. Looking inside of here. See a spring and something there. Let's see. Okay, this is the seal assembly. You got a hard seal, presses against the housing, and this portion seals against the shaft. I wonder if these are available separate. Yeah, so this piece is rubber. Seals against this hard plastic piece that's pressed onto the shaft.
Sort of makes sense. And the sealing surface is spun by the impeller. A little bit of a notch there. Guess it's been doing it a while. Alright. Now it looks like this section, got a snap ring here that comes apart. Now in theory the shaft and bearings should press out. Let me give them a little tap with the brass hammer just to see if it moves easily. Actually does. Still in good shape. I want to make sure I don't hit this section. Although that's where the seal rides and it looks pretty ate up as it is. It's close. Alright, there's an empty housing except for a plug. Yeah, this thing would leak like crazy even if the bearings were good. I'll need to look at the exploded view in the manual, but I think that's just part of this casting. If that is, I could probably chuck this in the lathe and clean it up if necessary, but I'm not going to be using this one anyway, so. The bearing assembly has seen better days. It's really hard to turn. I can't see any numbers on it, but that doesn't mean they're not on the seal there. Not sure if that's available separate or not either. But if this is buildable, the bearing and seal is what you would need. That shaft is pretty pitted. I think I'm going to go ahead and open this one up and see what it looks like. See if it'll break loose as easy as the other. Maybe so. Threads are definitely better on the impeller. Ooh, I destroyed this one. Man. Guess that means I'm getting a new pump. Unless I can find those parts. So a couple things were different here. On this one, unless they were rusted away, it didn't look like we had a snap ring there. This one had some kind of ring holding it. and then the seal popped out with a much bigger spring. I don't think this was the original pump, actually. It was probably an aftermarket pump, and that's probably why that's different. Because there's a couple things different from the original. There's no port here, and these tractors are both the same year. We don't have a port there. The casting's a little different. Well, that sucks, because this one wasn't in good enough shape to use, probably. Until I broke it. Kind of interesting how this one's designed a little different. Hard to tell. Just a ring off that holds the rubber boot on, or rubber seal on. Yeah, so this made contact here on the housing, which isn't in bad shape. The seal went over it. Let's see. Yeah. Yep, looked like it was something like this. Mounted inside of here. Along with a little snap ring that holds it in. And if I could find that seal, this will definitely be a usable pump. The bearings are great. I mean, there's no roaring. They feel smooth. There's a little bit of resistance where you can tell the seal's still touching and there's grease there. I'll probably go ahead and slide that out anyway, just to make it easier to sandblast and clean this up and get it painted if I end up finding that seal. Impeller looks fine. Interesting how they're a little bit different designs though, although this other impeller still has a place for that snap ring. I wonder if I could still use it with this if I had to. Are both sides identical enough I could polish it up and flip it over? Possibly. So it might still be usable. Hard to say. Yep, we'll see. To be continued. If I go this route and use this pump and put it back together, I'll video that part. Until next time.